just figure something out. And it's in regards to fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. So I just realized that fawning can give people an advantage in different scenarios. So it's not. I'm looking at the fawning, and I'm seeing the the other perspective of it, because fawning in general is not something we want to do. Fawning in general is like a response, and it's like you just go along with something, and it's not in your best favor, and you're just going along with it. You stuck, you enter fawn mode out of safety, out of survival mode. You entered the fawning stage, and it's not. Nobody wants to be there. It's uncomfortable, but it's what happens when it's too much, and you're in fear, and so you go into that automatically. The body goes into that. The mind goes into that. So, a new perspective of fawning. I'm now, after sitting with myself and having a conversation with self, I realized something, and I've discovered something, and maybe it was guidance that was given to me because it came out of nowhere. But let's talk about the guy Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer or whatever like title he had. There was a person, the last person that he kidnapped. That very person got away free because that guy, the victim, the kidnapper, the captive. There we go. The captive, the man that he captured. That man got out of that situation by fawning. Now, if that man decided to fight, he would have been attacked by Jeffrey instantly. If he tried to flight, which is flight. If he tried to flee, he would have been attacked that way as well. If he would have froze, if he froze, it wouldn't be too long until Jeffrey Dahmer takes advantage of him. So by fawning, by playing along with him, by playing along with Jeffrey, I thought about that, and it gave me insight and intel on fawning is a useful phase for us as humans. And maybe animals do it too. It has use at specific times. At times where fighting or flighting will be detrimental, fawning works. You play along, and the captive that Jeffrey Dahmer captured, he played along with Jeffrey Dahmer just enough to then that captive went into fight mode, and he knocked him upside the head with a frying pan, and then he went from fight mode to flight mode, and he fled. Now, in between that, I think he before he went into fawning mode, I think he did freeze first. He did freeze first. And the freezing stage, I would look at that in that moment, that specific moment. The freezing stage allowed him to process. It allowed the body and the mind to process. Okay, what we gonna do? And then, or also to, if you want to take it on the spiritual level, that freeze allowed guidance to come through on what to do next. So maybe he was guided to fawn automatically by his essence, by whatever. So I'm looking at all these aspects. I'm looking at first, likely he froze. So he went from freezing to then fawning to then fighting, and then lastly he went into flight, fleeing. 4 of these phases helped that man escape. That's incredible. What a story. Fawning is a part of intel gathering because it allows you to be present and to blend in and to be the chameleon to get information. And to not set off alarms with the person or the persons, because you're blending, you're fawning, you're going along with things. drinking, laughing, all these different things. So it's interesting how fawning, this thing that has been it's been looked at as a negative, and rightfully so. There's cases where it is problematic. And with that being said, I now understand that there's another perspective where it's actually useful for us to fawn at specific moments in time, and how some people actually use fawning as a career tool to gather intel and information. Incredible insight.